ॐ हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापि हितं मुखं तत्त्वं पोषणपावृणु सत्यधर्माय तृष्टये. I welcome everybody to the Swadhyaya Jnana Yogam program by Academy of Yoga and Oriental Study, Bhubaneswar. Yoga is a science of conquering the mind. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodhaha. Today we will discuss on Nada Yoga. It will be discussed by Dr. Indulata, Director, Academy of Yoga and Oriental Studies, Bhubaneswar. I am Indulata. Nada Yoga. Yoga is Samadhi or the state where the mind is absolutely conquered. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodhaha. One is established in his own original form in the state of yoga. When one reaches the state of yoga, he is established in his own original form. Tadadrashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. In the other cases, in the other states, he is not in his original form. He identifies himself with the Vrittis that mind entertains. So it is attained by completely arresting the activities of the mind or the Vrittis of the mind. The state of yoga is attained by completely arresting the activities of the mind. Now there are various methods to arrest the Chitta Vrittis and reach the state of yoga. When Nada plays vital role in arresting the Chitta Vrittis, it is called Nada Yoga. So like this, Nada Yoga is the yoga when Nada plays a very vital role in arresting the Chitta Vrittis. When Bhakti plays a vital role in arresting the Chitta Vrittis, it is called Bhakti Yoga. When Jnana or knowledge plays the vital role in arresting Chitta Vrittis, it is called Jnana Yoga. Like this, there are many methods of arresting Chitta Vrittis. Accordingly, we name them as this yoga and that yoga. Now, let us see what is the derivation of the word Nada. It is a Sanskrit word. Every word is derived from a root. And what is the root here? Here the root is Nad. That means to create sound or to shout. Nada is at the root of everything. Nada or sound is at the root of everything. We will discuss about it. Now, who discovered that Nada is at the root of everything? Who discovered this mystery of Nada? The great sages, great spiritual scientists of the land, they only discovered that Nada is at the root of everything and everything has come out of Nada. Upanishad is the first literature to expose mystery of Nada. The first Nada, the Omkara, the great Nada, that is Omkara. The Mandukya Upanishad unveils the mystery. It establishes its relation with human entity. Now, let us see how Nada is at the root of everything. Everything is a creation of the Nada. Om ityetadakharam idam sarvam tasya upavyakhyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyat iti sarvam Omkara eva. Jachanyat vikalatitam tadapi Omkara eva. This is Mandukya Upanishad 1. All this is the manifestation of the sound Om. And everything of past, present and future is a fabrication of Om. Everything that belongs to the past or present or future, they are the fabrications of Om, Omkara. And that which is beyond the three periods, that also comes under Om. So everything is Om. Everything is a manifestation of Om only. Now scientists, the modern scientists say that there was a big bang and the creation came to existence from that big sound. And what was that sound? They do not know. They don't say anything. They say there was a great sound. And our great sages, the spiritual scientists, they have discovered long back that sound was nothing different than Omkara. It was the great sound of Omkara. It was the big bang of Omkara from where everything came to existence. It was discovered long back by the sages of Bharat. Now, everything has emanated, everything has come out from Om. Now, Dhyanabindu Upanishad says, Omkara Prabhava Deva, Omkara Prabhava Suraha, Omkara Prabhavam Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharachara. Gods have emanated from Om. Gods, who are the gods? The air, the fire, the sun, the moon, and everything. Those natural forces which are conducive for our existence, they are the gods. So the sun, the moon, the earth, the fire, air, everything, they came out of the God. They came out from the Om. And the Swaraj also emanated from Om. What are the Swaras? The Swarita, the Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarita. These are the three sounds. These are the three Swaras. And then there are seven Swaras in music. These are the Swaras. And what is the work of the Swaras? They make something rhythmic. So rhythm is a, there is everything is rhythmic. Our heart beats with rhythm. So everything is rhythm. We may say that the rhythm came out from Omkara. Like this, everything in the three worlds, static, both static and mobile. Static means that which does not move, and mobile means that which moves. They emanated from Omkara. They have come out from Omkara. Now let us discuss how Om is related to human entity. Now, four states of human consciousness. Our consciousness are in four states. That one is Jagrata state, that is waking state. I am in the waking state now. Then there is the Swapna state, the sleeping state. When one sleeps but he dreams, he sees many dreams. That is the Swapna state. Then there is the Susupti state, when there is sleep but there is no dream at all. It is a very deep sleep. That is called Susupti. And there is the Turiya state, when one reaches this state. This is the state of liberation, when one is liberated, when the Chitta Vritti is arrested. That is the Turiya state. It is beyond these three states. It is beyond the Jagrat, Swapna, and Susupti states. This is the Turiya state. So, like this, the human consciousness has four states. And Omkara has three syllables, and the total Omkara, like this, Omkara is also four. It has three syllables, O, U, and Ma, and there is the total Omkara. Like this, it becomes four. And they are identified with our four states of consciousness. O is identified with waking state, that is Jagrat Avastha, and U is identified with Swapna Avastha. Then Ma is with dreamless deep sleep, Susupti Avastha. The partless Om is identified with the Turiya Avastha, or the state of consciousness when one is liberated. Now, Nada manifested as speech. Let us specify, limit our lecture. Let us limit our subject matter. Let us come to speech. Nada manifested as speech in human beings, humans and other creatures. Everything is a manifestation of Nada, and speech is also a manifestation. It is also a manifestation of the great sound, the great Nada. Nada manifests itself as four forms of speech: Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikhari speech. Para speech, Pashyanti speech, Madhyama speech, and Vaikhari speech. Now, let us discuss about Para speech or Parabhak. It is the subtlest speech. It is called Para because it is the highest or the supreme speech. It is identified with the ultimate reality, that is Brahma. Grammarians consider Sabda to be their ultimate reality, Sabda to be Brahma. Anadi Nidhanang Brahma, Sabda Tattvang Jadaksharam. This is Bhakyapadyam. Brahman has no beginning or end, Anadi Nidhanam. So it is Anadi, and it is also, it has no Adi and it has no Nidhana, it has no end, and it is immutable, Akshara, and it is the highest speech, and it is nothing different from the highest speech. Now, what is the place of Para? According to Yoga Sikha Upanishad, Muladhara Chakra is the place of Para speech. Akharang Paramo Nadha Shapta Brahmeti Kathyate Muladhara Gata Shakti Swadhara Bindu Rupini. The highest Nada is the immutable ultimate reality. Muladhara is the place of the subtlest sound. This sound rests in Muladhara. Then we come to the Pashyanti back. This is the second back. It emanates from Para. Para Para generates Pashanti. Pashanti is grosser compared to Para. It is placed in Manipura Chakra. It is called Pashanti because, according to Yogasikha Upanishad, because yogis can see everything through this speech. Tasyam utpadyate nada sukma bija divankuraha tang pashanti vidur vishwam jaya pashanti yogina. The pashanti comes out of para as the sprout comes out of seed. And it is called pashanti because yogis see everything through this. Then there is the madhyama bhag. It emanates from pashanti. It is grosser than pashanti. It is placed in Anahata Chakra. Hudaya vyajate ghosha garjat parjanna sannibha tatra sthita sureshana madhyametya vidiyate. This is according to Yogasikha Upanishad. The meaning of the mantra is like this. This sounds like thundering cloud. It is located in the heart. It can be heard with a little yogic effort. It can be heard. Anahata sound can be heard, but para and pashanti cannot be heard. Then we come to the Vaikhari speech, that is Vaikhari Bhag. It is the grossest form of speech. It is verbal in nature, it is not silent, it can be heard to the normal ears. It is the speech of the humans and other animals also. They have also speech. Turiyang Bacha Manushya Vadanti. This is Rigveda. Rigveda says that the speech which the humans use, that is the Turiya Bhag, or it is the Vaikhari speech. Now we come why Vaikhari is audible, because Vaikhari can be heard because it is uttered from 8 places. Ashto sthanani varnanam urah kantha siras tatha jiva mulang cha dantascha nasikostau cha talucha. This is Paniniya Sikhya. Vaikhari speech is uttered from the chest, throat, head or roof of the mouth, root of the tongue, teeth, nostril, lips and the palate. These are the 8 places from where Vaikhari is uttered. Now Nada Yoga and Anahata Nada. We come to the Anahata Nada. Anahata Nada is the Madhyama Bhag. We are concerned with that only. Nada Yoga is concerned with Madhyama and not with Vaikhari. Speech in Anahata Chakra is called Anahata Nada. Why it is called Anahata? Because it is not Ahata Nada. Whenever there is a sound is produced when something strikes something else. But here in Anahata Nada, there is no strike of anything with anything else. It is without any strike. Therefore, it is called Anahata. Anahata is produced by vibration of prana in the chakra. In the Anahata Chakra, the prana vibrates and this sound is produced. Then there is a question, if prana produces this sound or the vibration of the sound is heard in this chakra, then prana is also in other chakras. Why we cannot hear any sound from those chakras? The answer is very simple, because Anahata Chakra is the place of Vayu and sound depends on Vayu or air to be heard. It is heard only when there is Vayu or there is air. Where there is no air, no sound can be heard. Now, what are the Anahata sounds? These are a group of mystical sounds, mystic sounds. They are heard not through the hearing organ, heard only when the hearing organ is non-operative. Arresting the Vrittis of the mind by Anahata Nada is Nada Yoga. So when the mind is arrested, the mind is arrested or the Vrittis of the mind are arrested by the help of Nada Yoga. Now Anahata Nada, that is called Nada Yoga. Because of its importance, it is a step in the Hatha Yoga. Nada Yoga is very important, therefore Swatmarama Swami places it as the 4th state and the final state of Hatha Yoga. He writes, Asanam kumbhakam chitrang mudrakhyam karanam tatha atha nadanusandhanam abhyasanukramo hathe. Which means proper sequence of practice in Hatha Yoga is the practice of asana first, then pranayama, then mudras, and then the quest of nada, nada anusandhana. Then why Nada Yoga should be practiced? What are the benefits? Whether it is a simple yoga, therefore we should practice. In order to know it, we have to go to the root. After all, by yoga, what we are doing, we are arresting the vrittis of the chittas, or we are curbing the activities of the mind, we are controlling the activities of the mind. Then we should know why the mind is active, why there are activities in the mind, why there are vrittis in the mind. There are two factors for which there are vrittis in the mind. Number one is movement of prana. Because the prana moves, therefore the mind moves. Chale bate chalang chittam, nischale nischalং dhruvam. So when the prana moves, there is the movement of the mind. There is activity in the mind. And number two is strong vasana or desire of the mind. The activities of the mind are due to its strong vasana. It runs towards the objects. Therefore, it is active, or there are activities in the mind. So in Laghu Jago Vasishtam, we find a sloka, very good sloka. Dve vijay chitta brukhasya vritti vratati dharina ekang prana parispando dityang drudha vasana. The tree of Chitta, which has vrittis as its branches, has two seeds. One is the movement of prana through the nostrils, and the other is vasana or desire. Destruction of one destroys both. So these two are dependent. So destruction of one destroys both. Dayar vinashta ekasminsto dvavapi vinashyatah. Hatha Yoga Pratipika says, when one prana and vasana, when one of them is destroyed, both of them die. If one is controlled, the other one is automatically controlled. Now methods to counter the two disturbances. How to counter these two disturbances? There are methods. Disturbance caused by prana is countered by pranayama. And disturbance caused by desires are countered by two methods again. By forceful withdrawal, that is called pratyahara. By forceful withdrawal, that is called pratyahara, the mind is the yogi forcefully withdraws the mind from the objects it wants to enjoy. Then there is another method that is called laya yoga. The yogi engages the mind in something interesting, and automatically the mind withdraws itself from the objects of the world. That is like trapping the mind. Suppose a child is holding something which is harmful. Suppose a child is holding a knife. We have to get it from him. How we can do it? We can use force and get the knife from him. Or we can offer him another toy in which he takes interest. Then he will throw the knife. Like this, the mind is allured by offering the lawyer. The mind is allured with another object to concentrate, and the mind automatically withdraws from the worldly objects. That is Laya Yoga. Now, Laya Yoga, what is Laya Yoga? Laya is derived from the root li, which means to be attached. Li slesane. Laya means to be attached to something very strongly, or merger or absorption. Laya means to be attached to something very strongly. That is Laya. Arresting vrittis of the mind by attaching the mind in something is Laya Yoga. The Laya Yoga is to arrest the mind by attaching it to something. That is Laya Yoga. Now, Laya Yoga leaves no scope for vasana, for the objects. Apunar vasana thanat layo vishaya vismriti. Since there is no resurrection of desires again, the desires do not come back to the mind again. Therefore, laya means forgetting the objects of the world. Vishaya vismriti, there is one word, this word is very important. Vishaya vismriti, it does not go back to the world. It is quite different from worldly engrossments. One may question, we can engross our mind in the worldly pleasures, and why with the nada? Yes, yoga is possible only when the mind is dominant by sattva guna. If one is engrossed in filthy pleasures, in sexual activities, and he thinks that I am engrossed and I am doing yoga. No, yoga is not possible when the mind is in tamaguna and rajaguna. Only when there is dominance of sattva there is yoga. So worldly engrossments cannot be called yoga or chitta vritti nirodha. Now characteristics of Laya Yoga or how the Laya Yoga moves or it proceeds. In Laya Yoga, the mind is absorbed in an object present to it. Then mind is concentrated gradually. Then in advanced stage, activities of the mind or activities of the body, even the smallest activity of the body, that stops. Then inhalation and exhalation also slow down, and ultimately it also stops. Then yogi is absolutely undisturbed. There is no disturbance in the mind, in the body, or in the pranic way, or in the pranic level. There is no disturbance in him. Now, types of Laya Yoga. Sri Adinathena Sapada Koti Laya Prakaraha Kathitaha Jayanti. This is Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Hatha Yoga Pradipika says that according to Sri Adinatha, there are 1 crore and quarter type of Laya Yogas. Sri Adinatha has told that there are 1 crore and 25 lakhs of Laya Yogas. However, Swami Satmarama has not mentioned any other Nada Yoga except the Laya Nada Yoga. Now, relation between Laya Yoga and Nada Yoga. Nada Yoga is a variety of Laya Yoga. It is one type of Laya Yoga. It is the greatest and the best of the Laya Yogas. Nadanusandhanakam ekam eva manyamahe mukhyatamang layana. This is Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So Hatha Yoga Pradipika says it is the best and the highest Laya Yoga. And again it says there is no Laya like Nada, no Nada Satrusha Laya. Then why Nada is considered to be the best? Now there is a tendency of the mind that it is attracted towards sweet rhythmic and musical sounds. Even many animals, we have seen this tendency. It is said that elephant is very fond of the sound of veena and therefore elephant is trapped by playing veena in front of it. So yogi utilizes this tendency to trap the mind. Even in some plants, this tendency has been found out by scientists. Tendency to be attracted towards sweet rhythmic and musical sounds. So yogi utilizes this tendency of the mind to trap it. So he allures the mind by sweet sounds, by rhythmic and musical sounds of the Anahata Chakra. Then the mind is trapped in it. Then once it is trapped in the Nada, in the Anahata Nada, it does not want worldly pleasures. The mind is not diverted to any worldly pleasures after that. Nada Bindu Upanishad rightly says that Arabindam pivan bhrungo gandam napekhyate jatha nada saktang tatha chittang visayan nahi kankhyate. Just as a honeybee is not attracted towards other odors, if it drinks the nectar of lotus, so also the mind does not want the material pleasure if attached to the nada. Nada is like an iron goad to control the mind. Nada and mind, they are compared in many ways. We'll discuss only 1 or 2 comparisons and not more than that. Here Nada is compared to an iron goad to control the mind, and mind is compared to an intoxicated elephant. So Nada Bindu Upanishad says, Madonmatta Gajendrasya Vishwadhyana Charinaha Niyamana Samarthaya Ninada Nisitankushaha. The Nada is like a sharp iron goad which is capable of controlling the mind, the mind is like an intoxicated elephant, Unmatta, Madonmatta Gaja, roaming in the garden of Vishaya. Now, methods of practicing Nada Yoga. The yogi practices under the supervision of a guru. It has to be it has to be practiced under the supervision, guidance of a guru. Never yoga should never be practiced. Any part of yoga should never be practiced without the help of a guru. Then he assumes Siddhasana or Padmasana. The yogi, the practitioner, assumes Siddhasana or Padmasana, and then he practices Nada Yoga. Then he assumes Shanmukhi Mudra. He closes his ears, eyes, mouth, and nose with the help of thumb and fingers. Here I should clarify it, clear it, that Shanmukhi Mudra is Sat Mukhi is Sanmukhi. Sat means 6 and then Mukhi. It is a Sandhi. The Ta becomes Shna by the rule of Sandhi. The Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Ta is the first letter of the Varga. It becomes Shna because Ma is there. Mudra. Ma is there. The Ma makes the Ta. It changes the Ta into Na. Then it becomes Anmukhi Mudra. Like this, there is the word Sanmatura, that means Kartikeya. Kartikeya has 6 mothers, therefore he is called Sanmatura. It is the rule of the Sandhi which makes this change. In 1 or 2 books I read that they have written San means 7 and Mukha means openings. Because 7 openings are stopped, therefore it is called Sanmukhi. Sanmukhi can never mean sun. There is no word called sun which means 7, and it is Satmukhi Sanmukhi. And nose is 1. Nose is here considered as 1, and the total becomes Sat, and it is not 7. When we take nose as nostrils as 2, they may become 7, but here Sanmukhi does not mean 7 openings, it means 6 openings, and here nose is taken as 1. So here is the sloka. Savanaputa Nayana Jugala Grana Mukhanang Nirodhanam Karjam Suddha Susumna Sarano Sputam Amalaha Sriyate Nadaha. This is Hatha Yoga Pradipika. The yogi closes his Savanaputa Nayana Jugala Grana Mukha. All these are stopped, all these are blocked. Then the nada becomes amala. Then he can hear pure amala and sputa, pure and clear nada. Anahata nada he can hear. He tries to hear the sound that is emanating from the Anahata Chakra. Now various sounds heard during the practice. When he starts hearing the sounds, then he hears many sounds. In the beginning he hears sounds of ocean, clouds, kettle drums, etc. Adau jaladhi muta bheri nirchara sambhavaha, Nadavindu Upanishad. After much practice or in the middle, he hears mardala, sounds of mardala, bell and horn. Madhye mardala sabdabho ghanta kahal jastatha. This is also Nadavindu Upanishad. Then at the end, tinkling of bells, flute, Veena and B. Ante tu kinkini bangsa Veena Brahmara Nishtana Nadavindu Upanishad. So these sounds are according to Nadavindu Upanishad, and there are also mention of other sounds which are heard in the Anahata Chakra. So now the yogi uses various methods for hearing these sounds. Number 1, the yogi may hear gross sounds, then he may gradually move to the subtle sounds. Or second, he may concentrate on gross sounds, then move to subtle sounds, then again he comes back to the subtle sounds, again goes back to gross sounds, and comes to subtle, then goes back to gross. Like this, he shifts from subtle to gross and gross to subtle. Like this, he can exercise the mind. And number 3 is he can allow the mind to concentrate on any sound it likes, whether it is gross or subtle, it doesn't matter. The mind has to like the sound, but the mind should not be allowed to go out of the Anahata sounds and to think something else, something worldly. No, it has to remain within the limit of the Anahata sounds. That is required. Yatra kutrapi va nade lagati pratamam manah tatraiva susthiripya tena sadham viliyate. Let the mind be concentrated on anything that it likes. It should be steady on that, and ultimately it should merge in it. Now mind does not move to anything else. When it is merged in the Anahata Nada, then it does not move to anything else. Nada Sravanatah Kipram Antaranga Bhujangamah Vismrutya Sarvam Ekagraha Kutrachi Nahi Dhavati. Here the mind is compared to a Bhujangama or a serpent, and the Nada is compared to and the Nada, the sound which the serpent likes. So hearing the Anahata Nada, the mind serpent is very quickly fixed to it. It is said that serpent is very fond of one sound, and when that sound is played, then it is attracted towards it. It forgets everything else and going here and there. So also the mind forgets everything and it stops running here and there, and it is fixed to it. However, the story of the serpent liking the sound that is to be verified, because it is said that serpents do not have ears, but it is a belief that serpent is fond of some particular sound. Now, four stages of the Nada Yoga. Every yoga has four stages: Arambha, Ghata, Parichaya, and Nispatti. Arambhascha Ghatascha Tatha Parichayopi cha Nispatti Sarva Yogeshu Syadavastha Chatushtam. There are four stages, and in Nada Yoga also there are four stages. These stages are described according to Hatha Yoga Pradipika. In the Arambha stage, the body becomes disease free, the Brahma Granthi is pierced. Then in the Ghata stage, the Sushumna is clear and the Vishnu Granthi is pierced. Then in the Parichaya stage, the yogi acquires many siddhis. Then in the Nispatti stage, the Rudra Granthi is pierced, and it is the culmination of Nada Yoga. End of Nada Yoga, the yogi attains Samadhi. Eki Bhutang Tada Chittang Raja Yoga Vidhanakam. The Chitta then becomes one or vrittiless, and it is the Raja Yoga. It attains the state of Raja Yoga. Now let us see what are the three Granthis and what are their locations. This is Brahma Vidya Upanishad. It says that Brahma Granthir Akarecha Vishnu Granthir Bhudistitaha Rudra Granthir Bhurav Madhe Vidyate Khyarabhayuna. Brahma Granthi is in the Muladhara, Vishnu Granthi is in the heart, and the Rudra Granthi is between the eyebrows. This is according to Brahma Vidya Upanishad. Now the mind is merged in the Nada, then it moves from Nada to Nadalessness, or from Nada to no Nada. When absorbed in Nada completely, the mind proceeds further to Nadaless state. Sankhadundubi Nadamcha na sunoti kadachana kashtavajjayate deha unmanyavasthaya dhrupam. This is Hatha Yoga Pradipika. The yogi does not hear any sound like that of conch or dundubhi. Now he has gone beyond the state of sound. His body becomes still like a log of wood. He reaches the Unmani state. Unmani is a synonym of Raja Yoga or Samadhi. So the yogi has moved from the state of Manoloya to Manonasa. Manoloya leads to Manonasa. Nado javan manasthavan nadante to Manonmani. So long as Nada is there, Mano is there, mind is there. When there is no Nada, there is no mind. It is the Manonasa stage. There is no mind means there is no activity in the mind. So this is called Manonasa. It is Unmani or Manonmani, or it is called Samadhi. It is the state of vrittilessness of the mind. It is called Yoga. That is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yogi reaches the state of Yoga through Nada. Therefore it is Nada Yoga. Now we come to the conclusion. Nada Yoga is one of the best ways for yoga. Nasti Nadat Paro Mantra. Yoga Sikha Upanishad says there is no better mantra than the Nada Yoga. Then Varaha Upanishad says Sarvachintang Parityajya Sapadhanena Chetasa Nada Evanu Yoga Samrajya Michhata. There is a spelling mistake. Nada, nada eva anusandheya. It should be nada eva anusandheya. Yoga samrajyam ichhata. A yogi who wants the empire of yoga should give up all worries and quest the nada only. Like this, the nada yoga ends. I must thank you for hearing the lecture. If you have any question, you are free to write in the comment box. I shall be very happy to answer them.